The next item that we have under appointments and presentations are the appointments to the Human Rights Commission. Ms. Guilfoyle?
Didn't multitask very well there, did I? Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. On July 26, 2010, the Maplewood City Council passed ordinance number 907 that reestablished the Human Rights Commission. Over a couple of council manager workshops, you did interview 12 candidates. I will just add that you really had your work cut out for you. We had some wonderful, wonderful candidates. The results of your tallied ballots show that the following people are recommended for appointment to the commission: William Joannis, Laurie Simon, John Brandt, Jeffrey Kringle, Charlotte Winnan, Ariane Maxwell, and Marie Ridgway. Staff recommends that the City Council approve the attached resolution appointing the candidates for the terms that are listed in the report. And then they will all be contacted and informed that they are on the commission.
I would agree that I am always pleasantly surprised when we're doing our interviews, particularly where we've had the startup of some new commissions, how many very talented people there are that step forward and offer up some of their times and talents to the city. And so I'm very pleased that we had so many applicants and that we ended up with some very skilled people in the area directly involved with the commission. I also think that it's important that we end up with people that are somewhat just common folk also. The desire to serve, I think, is something that we need to acknowledge and always try to represent on our commissions. So we need a motion to approve the list of people.
I would move the resolution approving the appointments to the Human Rights Commission.
Second.
Ms. Juneman has made the motion. It's seconded by Mr. Copen to approve the list of people that is in our report and that were just listed by Ms. Guilfoyle. Is there any further discussion that's necessary? And Mr. Nephew, are you voting here or not voting here?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Any further comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Abstentions?
Aye.
And nays? So 4 ayes and 1 abstention. Welcome to all of them, and we were talking about trying to get their first meeting in January. Has any kind of date been set yet or anything?
Mayor, members of the council, we have not set a date yet because we're looking at all of the commissions. There's going to be a couple of changes, and we will let you, of course, and the commission members know as soon as we determine that. Would be within the next couple of weeks. And then Councilmember Lannis has also something to say regarding the commission.
The League of Human Rights for the state of Minnesota is sponsoring a workshop in the month of December where all cities that have existing human rights commissions are welcome to attend for a very nominal fee. I'd asked Ms. Guilfoyle to contact the members to see their availability and encourage them to attend if their schedule so allowed. But it would be a great opportunity to learn from other commissioners from across the state. And at last count, there were 39 municipalities across the state of Minnesota that had human rights commissions. So it'd be a good way for the commission to start off on a good foot, and according to Ms. Guilfoyle, as part of certainly staff training, we would cover some of the staff costs and would ask some of the members for participation in that if they could. So it's a great way to get them going on the right foot.
Sounds like an excellent idea. I'm sure that Mr. Antonin will make sure that we are right on that.
I think there's a significant sum in the mayor and council travel budget.
Probably so. We'd never go anywhere. All right, we'll move on then. The next item is the consent agenda. And on the consent agenda, we have items that are considered to be routine by the city. And so in a normal operation, all of the items that are on the consent agenda would be moved with one motion. We do allow council members to either highlight an item or to ask a simple question without pulling it from the list. If there is a more complex question or desire by the council member, it can be pulled and voted on separately. So I have a couple lights on. Ms. Juniman.
I would like to highlight number 4 and very briefly highlight number 6. Please.
Mr. Lanis.
I would ask that we highlight number 3, please.
Any other requests having to do with the items? Mr. Lanis, would you want to go ahead with item number 3?
Sure. Just as Ms. Guilfoyle does her multitasking over there, I wanted to point out that the Doghouse Barn Grill was one group of individuals, 3 Maplewood residents who are opening up a local establishment within our city limits, which is A, fantastic, and B, that their charity organization, Merrick Inc., which is located just outside our city boundaries, is an organization that focuses specifically on adults with disabilities and serving their clients with skillful employment and services for special need adults. And so the fact that we have a local new establishment made of Maplewood residents focusing on community service already by selecting this particular organization, I thought deserved to have a highlight. Ms. Guilfoyle, anything else?
Thank you for that. Ms. Juniman, items number 4 and 6.
Okay, number 4, if we could just have staff highlight really briefly the SCORE grant, please.
Mayor, Council, the SCORE grant is our pass-through dollars that go through Ramsey County. The SCORE acronym stands for the Select Committee on Recycling and the Environment, and that was a committee that was put together by then Governor Rudy Perpich back in 1988 to help pay for recycling and trash as well. The city is looking for support from the council to approve the resolution, which will in turn return approximately $77,000 to the city to use in our recycling efforts.
And number 6, just simply to point out to the residents, particularly of Legacy Village, who've been waiting a long time for their tot lot to be finished, and it now has an official name, or it will after we vote on this tonight. It's Legacy Pines Park. So it means it's a completed task finally, and they have a tot lot.
Yay.
With that, I will move approval of the consent agenda, items 1 through 7.
Second.
Ms. Juniman has made a motion to move the items on the consent agenda. It's been seconded by Mr. Nephew. Any further comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Sound like ayes all. We have no public hearings tonight, and so that would bring us into unfinished business. The first item is to the review of the recycling contract between the City of Maplewood and Tennis Sanitation, LLC. Mr. Kanico?
Mr. Mayor, Council, Sean's going to kind of lead off, and then Alan and I will answer questions as well.
I should have known it was actually you, Sean. That would be.
Behind the scenes doing the work, yes. Thank you. So on September 27th, the City Council did review 6 recycling proposals and directed staff to proceed with contract negotiations with Tennis Sanitation. And this was based on their option 5 recycling proposal, which included single stream recycling, collection of paper and corrugate, plastics number 1 through number 5, glass, metals, and textiles, and having that collection every week, using the city's existing bins for the recycling containers. The per household per month price for that recycling collection for that option was $1.75, and this option had no revenue share. So with that, staff has drafted a contract which is acceptable to Tennis Sanitation, and I just wanted to highlight a few of the contract issues in here. First of all, it's for a 3-year contract with 2 one-year extensions possible. We are requesting an annual performance review based on our new relationship with Tennis Sanitation. So this annual performance will go to the ENR, the Environmental Commission, as well as the City Council to ensure performance standards are met as based on the contract. Secondly is public education literature, the educational component. This will include the contractor producing and distributing an annual flyer to each home, and also a distribution of resident education tags, which will be left on the curbside in the event that the collection crews target any materials that are non-recyclable and have to be rejected at the curb. So staff is working with tennis on those flyers and that educational brochure, and we're hoping to get the annual flyer distributed to our residents as soon as possible so that they're able to have adequate time to adapt to the new single-stream recycling procedures prior to the January 1st contract date. Processing facilities, the contract did require that Tennis Sanitation provide the city with documentation for receiving and processing the recyclables received in Maplewood. So Tennis Sanitation, they'll be sorting all their recyclables at their facility, which is in St. Paul Park. And the processing of paper and corrugate will go to Rock 10 Company, which is in St. Paul, and that product will be made into cereal boxes. The plastics number 1 through number 5, which previously we just took the number 1 and 2. So those various plastics will go to procurement companies, and they distribute it to processors throughout the Midwest. In particular, those products are made into such things as plastic lattice, composite decking, and landscape edging. Then the glass, which was real important, the glass-to-glass recycling. They do bring their glass to Anchor Glass in Shakopee as well as E-Cullet in St. Paul. That's a new company beginning the recycling of glass. So that's made into other glass products, as well as any chip glass will be used as aggregate. And then the metals go to AMG in St. Paul and JR Appliance in Inver Grove. The tin is made into food storage cans, and scrap metal is made into rebar. And then finally, those textiles that we've been accepting, the clothing and so forth, will be distributed to nonprofits and companies for reuse or made into other textiles. So another important element of this contract is the process residuals, which was an important element when we looked at single versus dual stream. Tennis has agreed to limiting the process residuals of the Maplewood product to 6%, and this will be verified annually in the composite analysis, which Tennis will undertake for Maplewood recyclables. So the implementation of this contract, we're nearing the January 1st date here. We've been working with Tennis. We're going to put in an article in the December newsletter updating the residents on this new contract and our single-stream recycling. Doing other things such as getting that educational flyer prepared, and of course the multiple family. That'll be a huge transition. Tennis will be supplying all those recyclable carts, and they've ordered them and are ready to distribute them so that beginning January 1st they can just take over that multi-tenant recycling. So with that, City staff is recommending that the City Council approve the recycling contract between the City of Maplewood and Tennis Sanitation. This contract is for citywide recycling collection from single and multiple family dwellings. And again, the contract period for this is 3 years, beginning January 1st of next year through December 31st of 2013. And I'd also like to point out that the co-owners, Willie and Greg Tennis, are here tonight to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lannis, you have a question?
I do. I just have a question about some of the creation of the education material that is being done. I know that one of the larger concerns of the NR was the education of our residents moving to a single stream, one. And then two was that so much time went into the education with the previous vendor, and they did, I think, a model job on that. So maybe you can talk a little bit about, maybe if they want to talk a little bit about this too, how you're gathering, what information should be shared, and then is the ENR a part of that conversation, or can they be a part of that conversation as to how the education material is being created?